Albatros Travel. Travel with heart, mind, and attitude. A cruise along the coast of Greenland. Out on Sissfjorden, the good ship Ocean Nova waits to sail passengers around western Greenland. And as always, safety at sea has top priority. To reach the ship, the first taste of sailing in Greenland will be on board a rubber dinghy. Finally, they reach their new floating home for the duration of the cruise. An adventure awaits those who take the opportunity. The next morning, the ship arrives at its first destination, Sissfjorden. Fog shrouds the harbour. The fishermen stay ashore and wait for better weather. Sledges and dogs await winter. As the gateway to the old town indicates, this is a place with a bloody past as a whaling station. The local museum curator relates the dramatic stories from the time Dutch whalers battled it out with Danish, whilst the Greenlanders tried to live their lives as they always had, hunting from fragile kayaks. Perhaps the fog helps to bring the story to life on this day, in old Sissfjorden. Ocean Nova sails north, and soon the first majestic icebergs appear, which the passengers can admire from the deck or panorama saloon. At the foot of Disco Island's 1,000-meter-high peak is Kekatasuaq. A special and intimate experience awaits the passengers here. Greenlandic hospitality is world famous and is experienced at its best with a traditional kafemik. The passengers are invited to visit a private home, and when coffee is served, there's only one thing to say. Enjoy! The Greenlanders don't hold back on their coffee beans, and after a kafemik, there's only one thing you need. Clear, pure, and ice-cold water from the mountains. The trip to Kekatasuaq includes the chance to go rambling in the mountains. And out here in the spectacular scenery, two things happen. Firstly, you discover that food tastes best under the open skies. And secondly, you discover that nature can sometimes provide a panorama so vast that there is nothing to say. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with only 1/7 above the surface. The town of Almanac was named after the heart-shaped mountain towering in the background. They say here that the sun always shines in Almanac, and the day the Ocean Nova sails between the ice in the harbour, it's certainly true. This area is in fact one of the sunniest in Greenland. On the other hand, prices in the local supermarket are nightmarish. A cucumber costs $5, a cabbage $8, and a melon $16. But the ice is free, and there's plenty of it in Almanac. They also have lots of Greenlandic specialities, such as dried fish, muskox, and a fantastic view. We leave the town with its heart-shaped mountain, and after a short sail, it's time for the last landfall of the day. We are going to visit probably the most famous person in the whole of Greenland. The passengers arrive on a deserted rocky coast, with but a single house standing there. However, this house has a very special resident, Santa Claus himself. That's if he's home, of course. Several films on Santa Claus have been filmed here, so for those who thought he lived somewhere else, the proof is right here in Greenland. And if you've become a little too grown up to believe in Santa, you can always take a swim amongst the icebergs in the freezing water. The crew of the Ocean Nova have brought coffee and cakes ashore, so that the passengers can enjoy the view, each other and themselves, before it's time to take the last proof home to the kids and grandchildren that Santa Claus does live in Greenland. The next day, the captain keeps a wary eye on the ice. Ocean Nova is on her way to one of the trip's dramatic high points, the enormous Glacier Glacier. The weather in Greenland can change in a split second. Right in the middle of a narrow channel, a severe storm suddenly blows up. Ice-cold air flows over the ship from the ice cap. Meanwhile, everyone on board is awaiting the magic moment when a new iceberg is carved by the glacier. It was here in Ilulissat that Danish Greenland explorer Knud Rasmussen grew up and learned the art of understanding the land and its culture. And right from when he first learned to walk, he learned to understand the Greenlandic sledge dogs.
Slip. Jeg vælter.
From Ilulissat, the passengers walk to the fjord. Out to the viewing point of the Iceburg Graveyard. Tomorrow we will sail in amongst the icebergs. But this evening, everything is quiet. At dinner, the talk is all about the day's experiences. Time to enjoy fish fresh from the sea, right under the ship's keel. The name Ilulissat means ice mountain, and there are lots of them. Icebergs are carved 32 kilometers into the fjord, but here at the mouth they run aground, as the water is only 300 meters deep. On a good day, it is possible to get a bonus experience amongst the icebergs, a glimpse of the whales. But the ice can also be seen from a totally different perspective. The Ilulissat Icefjord is on the UNESCO World Heritage List, along with Mount Everest and Yellowstone. The high point of the trip is landing on a small rocky island. From here, the passengers can look out over the endless white desert. Stand still long enough and you will rust. On the way home, the Ocean Nova makes a final stop. The passengers arrive at a tiny settlement named Safin. The water teems with fish, and a rusty hook is all you need to catch a good-sized cod. Safin is the type of place where you can live out your fantasies as a salty sea dog and come face to face with the Greenland in which past and present blend together.
And you can see.
A visit to the little settlement is the last chance to get the feel of Greenland right under your skin for the entire trip home. Albatros Travel. Travel with heart, mind, and attitude.